Yeah, morning everyone. It's pretty early in the morning down here in Gosport, so I just thought I'd do a quick one while it's sort of fresh in my mind. I remember, I think it was either the turn of the millennium or the late 90s. I've been remanded in custody, and I was put on the wing. Was having terrible withdrawal, and I think it was about we'd been banged up for the night. And obviously it's my first night on the wing, and basically, I'm in withdrawal, really bad withdrawal, because as you know, but as I've told you before, in those days you had to wait 24 hours before you got any substitute medication for either opiates or benzos or whatever. So it gets to about 10 at night, 11, and it's only the night screw on now, not full staff, just a skeleton staff. And basically, I've had to put my finger on the bell and say, when the screw comes to the flap, I've said, Gov, I can't do this. I'm really, really ill. The withdrawal is so bad, and I'm frightened that I might do something bad to myself, and I've got to say this, the screws were on it within 10-15 minutes, couple of 2-3 screws come to the door, and they took me down to the hospital wing and put me in an observation cell. No, sorry, they put me on a ward. And in the morning, when people were awake on the ward, I was in there with a couple of guys, John Fowler from Sydenham, and Paul Parker from Peckham, and two really nice guys, and we're chatting away on the ward. And I was saying to John, how comes you're on the ward? And he said, I was so bad when I come in, I had to be brought down in a wheelchair. Paul was saying, yeah, I'm here for detox as well. And I was saying, yeah, the same thing. I'm here for detox, but as soon as there's a cell free on the hospital here, they're going to put me in one of them. But until then, they was telling me a couple of stories. John Fowler was telling me he'd come from Belmarsh, and when he was in Belmarsh, he had got in like a 1/4 ounce of cocaine powder, well, which was virtually pure, it was almost like paste, he told me. And he said what had happened, a couple of yardies, Country Joe and his pals had found out, and basically they robbed him, and they spooned it out of him. And John Fowler, he was a face, he was a big guy, and basically, yeah, they spooned it out of him, and basically what they done, they took the whole parcel and took it back to their cell, and basically they washed it up using piss, because as you know, urine has got ammonia in it, so yeah, that was the story. And he told me that was silly, them doing that, because it was so pure, it didn't really need to be washed up at all, but yeah. And yeah, he was very angry about that experience, but that's the sort of thing that used to go on in Belmarsh, I know a couple of people, I won't mention their names, from Shorten. I'll say Neil, who was a friend of mine. He was on remand on House Milk 3, told everyone he was getting his parcel, and then as soon as he got back off the visit with an 1/8 of tackle, an 1/8 of brown heroin, and basically a load of black guys came in on him and said, right, we're having that. But basically what happened, where he was withdrawing, his sort of stomach went, and the actual parcel just fell out, and his jeans was covered in doo-doo. And these yardies, they took the parcel and went, very embarrassing situation for Neil. And another mate, little Tony W, from up by St Peter's Church there on Bishopsford Road. Uh, used to be quite a big dealer around Sutton and Carshort and Kingston and that. You know, had a nice Harley Davidson motorbike. He was a nice guy, but every time he got a parcel, you know, he was getting robbed by the yardies and that. You know, it's very sad. You know, because in my book that is rape really, you know, when people are sort of entering your body with objects or their fingers or whatever to try and put a parcel out. But you know, knowing Tony, he would have had another one in his stomach which he would have shut out later, which he could have kept to himself, because I used to meet him down at church because he was on a different wing from me and he always used to sort me out, even though his parcel supposedly had been robbed. But yeah, you know, but yeah, they're the bad sort of things that go on in there. But back to Highdown, when I was there with John Fowler and Paul Parker, you know, yeah, what happened after that? Yeah, I got moved to strip cell and to carry on the observation, and then I got my medication the next morning, you know, after the 24 hours was up, you know, and then I went back on the wing. So, you know, both nice guys, those two guys, but I didn't ever see them again. So I don't know if they're still alive. I did bump into Chrissy Checker back on the wing, you know, who was from the same manor as Paul Parker and Chrissy Checker. You know, he was in there for supply, but it wasn't just for brown and white. He was in there for everything: speed, acid, you name it, benzos, heroin, crack, you know, the lot, mate. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, this is just a quick one, guys. And the other thing I want to say about that time, yeah, when I was in the cell down there was a fucking rapist. He was in for rape and buggery next door to me, the hospital wing, called Ian. And he was from either Killick House or Balham House down the bottom of Sutton. And you know, of course, I'm shouting out the hatch, you fucking nonce. I want to get you, you fucking rapist, and all that, you know. And what he did, he got in touch with his solicitor, David Ruby, and they wrote me letters saying that they were going to nick me for threatening behaviour on top of what I was already up for. I was already in enough trouble as it is, you know, for God knows what, 4 burglaries or something, you know. So yeah, and anyway, he was moved anyway to the numbers, but he was down the hospital wing. You do get nonces down there, you know, because he was saying he was suicidal and all that sort of thing, which a lot of those sex cases do, that sort of thing. But yeah, there was another one there that John and Paul was showing me, and they used to call him Edward Scissorhands. He used to walk around with no shirt on or t-shirt, and his hair was just out there, you know, it was out like Edward Scissorhands, like Johnny Depp in the film. But the reason he was called Edward Scissorhands is because he kept cutting himself and slashing himself up, and his body was so covered in slashes from razor blades that you couldn't see any flesh. It was just one complete chest and arms and hands and everywhere covered in razor blade slash marks, you know. So that's what got him his nickname. Obviously he was mentally ill. I don't know what his offence was for, but yeah. There was another video that I done about when I took some tablets that were supposed to be Valium in there, and I accidentally deleted that. But I want to go into that one again next time because it's quite a funny story, you know, and maybe I shouldn't have took the tablets in the first place, considering the guy that I got them off was in the cell above, and his name was Hamish. He was in for armed robbery, but every night he was pacing around the cell and stamping around saying, "Mum, I'm gonna fucking kill you, mother. I want to kill you, mother." So obviously he was some kind of crazy schizophrenic or psychopath. So maybe, you know, they're not, Valium aren't really the sort of tablets that are given for that sort of thing. So maybe I should have known better. But we'll go into what happened at at that time on another video, because it's quite funny, you know. And I do ask you, you know, a lot of my videos recently are not getting many views, but a lot of my early videos in my back catalogue from like 9-10 months ago, you know, they have thousands and thousands of views. So maybe if you haven't seen them, maybe you might like to have a look at them, because there's some good quality videos there. And what else I've got to say? Just hi guys and girls, and hope you have a good weekend, really. And that's about it, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. You help me turn this thing off, yep.